Hey everybody, this is Jeff from Jeff's Vegetable Gardening in Containers. I told you we'd get back and do this watermelon and cantaloupe area, which is getting kind of crazy. But if you come in close here, you'll see it's a cantaloupe here. Now it just fell right off, but it's ready to go. See, it's got a little crack. I waited a little bit too long, but it'll still be good. But if you look where it came off here, that's the vine that came off. The branch right before it will get, just like watermelon, will get all brown and dead. The little tendril that feeds it. So that's a good way of telling you if it's dead or not. So there's one there we can just put outside for now. They're the smaller type I've been growing now. And this one here, it's a watermelon. If you look way down here, look, see this? If you look right there, that brown tendril, it's right there. That's coming into the watermelon is what tells you if it's ready or not. And sometimes you get, it's right here. You'll feel a little bit of a soft spot right there on the bottom of the watermelon. So here's another one. I think that's like my 7th or 8th one. This year we've had a ton of success. I have, with the way things are have been going. Changing to these blue mats. This one's brown here too, but it's not quite yellow yet. But the tendril going into this one is saying this smaller. I'm going to leave that one on there a little while. See, if we look at this one, it's still green. So this watermelon's not ready. We have one here. I'm trying not to mess up on the vines on everything. We have another watermelon here, but see the tendril? It's still green, so that's not ready to go. There's another one here. See, it's starting to die, but it's not completely dead on that one yet, and it don't have a little bit of a mark, so I'm going to give it a little bit longer on that one. Let me look over here. Got more cantaloupe in here. Big watermelons in here. Let's see, that's nowhere near ready. This one says it's ready according to the tendril, but I don't know. It don't look. So I think I'll give that a little bit longer. That's a real small one there, but I might do this one as a test since the tendril was real brown on it. And it's not real soft, but getting cantaloupe this good as we've gotten so far this year is new to me, trying this new method, but I think this one still had a way to go, but we're going to just check it as an experiment because I have so many of them here. I got another big one here. Some of these are bigger and smaller. This one's a bigger one. Let's see what the tendril looks like on here. See the tendril? It's completely brown. It's done. Yep, the tendril's brown on this. That one's ready to go. Yep. So that one should be all right. We've never had so much luck. Smell it? Can't smell the cantaloupe in it, huh? Yeah, normally they get a lot. I can't smell that one, so that might have been my mistake. So I got live and learn. But normally when cantaloupe gets real yellow like that one that's on the ground down there, you put it up next to your nose, and it smells just like cantaloupe in your hand. That's the same with the watermelons. I'm trying not to step in the wrong spots here. You walk around the other way with the camera. Just put a bunch of stuff in the compost. So we still have a lot of them growing here. So I'll have to see. I've already picked 3 or 4 of these dark green watermelons, but it's not ready. It's getting a good size to it, but the tendril's not ready. This one, the tendril's not ready. You would see one of these tendrils going in there being dark brown. So that's still growing, but when I grow them up off the vines and across something. What?
Low battery, it's saying something. It's God. Hidden by that.
How can it be low battery? I just charged it. Hold on. Shouldn't be low battery. Was at a concert last night, but I still did it. Charged it again. All right, so we'll have to get going on this. All right, but otherwise they all look pretty good. I don't see any too many more sizable ones in here right now. There's a nice green one back in there. Nice one here. But I'm looking for any more with some decent size. And the only ones I see with decent size on them right now are over on that side. And their tendrils were not ready yet. So I do have, how many did we get? I got 1, 2. I thought there was nothing. We picked more than 2.
Yeah, they're down the other end. Maybe 4.
Oh, okay. So I got watermelon and a cantaloupe. It's good. And I got 1 cantaloupe that's definitely not ready yet. So we might just let it sit on the counter for a while and see if it'll ripen up. And then I got another one there. So we got 4 altogether. So we have to keep an eye on it all. We've been talking about my. Tell me if that battery thing comes up again. Oh boy. We've been talking about my corn a lot. We ate all corn. What night was that?
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago we ate all corn for dinner. I think I ate 5 or 6 ears. We ate it all up, but I think altogether we had probably 20 ears.
Yeah.
20, 25 edible ears on here, and there's still some left on here, but you see they're undeveloped and they're starting to turn brown, and there's a couple in between, but I'm going to wait a while. But I don't think I think what I wanted to get out of here and what I could get out of this corn here has pretty much served us good, because I don't see any more real bigger ones in here that I went through when I went through the other day. And yeah, I think I got most of them, but I'll double check everything. But it looks pretty good, and it's just that time of the year. What we got going on here? Might as well take this while I'm here. This yellow tomato. Our yellow tomatoes have done real good this year. Real good. My cucumbers have lasted longer this year, which is outrageous. Normally by this time of the year I'm frustrated, and nothing at all. The peppers don't look like much here right now, but that's because I just picked pretty much all of them. So we're in pretty good shape. Overall, I hate walking on these vines like this, but I've run out of room. But we have some watermelon that are like 2 inches round, and some that are 6 inches round. But some of them will make it, some of them won't. But I had so many in here, I'm just ecstatic about where we're at right now. If you see, looking back at these compost piles, we did get some potatoes out of here that I bought in. We still have to, I'd say it was like 50% out of this compost. I threw some old potatoes in here when I was getting rid of dirt and mixing dirt, and just threw them in here. They were growing all summer. I decided to look, and I had some of them that look like russets. They're pretty big, and then a lot of smaller ones, but I'd say 20%, no, 50% were nice potatoes we saved that we got upstairs I'm going to cook up. And the other, not 20%, 50%, and the other 50% are, I threw back in here, but they were so small and chewed up by bugs, I don't really expect much out of them this year. So, and I've been filling the other compost up, but I think that's all we're going to talk about tonight, because mosquitoes are bad out here, and yeah, I do see some more things going up there. We did have a crazy amount of yellow cucumbers this year. I don't know how I did it, but I normally plant cucumbers in one yellow cucumber bush, and somehow I did it opposite, and whew, just amazing. So many, and then the habaneros are the orange peppers, right? The ones you smell and you can't, yeah, they're burnt. So I gave them to our neighbor. He's used to eating them hot things. He loves them. But my wife, she loves peppers, and she couldn't even open the bag up, stick her nose down the bag, and it was already tearing her up because of how hot they were. And I've had them before, and most people are just like, they smell them, they're like, I'm not going to do it. But just want to give you a little update on, watermelon corn, where we're at, how we've done. Very productive. We're real happy about how everything's gone. And pepper-wise, it's been a good year this year, especially squash. We really made it out with squash. Still have a ton of cucumbers up in the refrigerator that we have to do something with. And I made a cucumber salad with yellow and regular cucumbers, but the lemon juice I was using. I had it just right, and I said, oh, I need to tip more, and I tipped the bottle, and it tipped too much lemon juice, and it got it too lemony, and it just made it unedible. So I was actually going to wash it out and then try to redo it, but it's all right. We got more that we can make one with, just regular cucumbers. So we'll throw that one out, or I'll put it out here in the compost, because it just, once it got too much of a lemony taste to it, it just made it terrible. And I don't even eat the stuff, but I know it when the bottle, the preserved lemon juice I was using, kind of spilled. I was like, whew, hope I can make up for this. But I think she ate her first. I gave her a bowl last week. She ate her first bowl. She said it was pretty good at first, but then, you know, you eat something more and you pick the lemon juice up more. It's just too much. So I'm going to get her to hand me that out tonight so I can throw it out here in the compost. It'd just be more for us to regenerate the ground. But that's pretty much it, guys. Been emptying buckets and getting things ready for things. Moved my raspberry bush up front, a couple of things up front, because just wasn't getting the water I wanted to get in a certain part of the garden. So we're going to keep working on that. I trimmed back the basil real bad because it was just getting dried and stringy. That'll grow back. And we're just going to keep working on everything as we're going. We planted the, matter of fact, if I'll take this camera, I might go up and show you where this apple tree is that I put in. It was up by the garage most of the time. And I had it growing in a pail. What the hell am I talking about? Pail. Bucket. A 30-gallon bucket from just a little seedling. And it's buried in the ground. It's 2 foot, so it's about a good 6 to 8 foot. But you can see the potatoes are all right here, all just dying back. The ones that still have some green on them, I'll be leaving in as long as I can. But like those 2 ones in that styrofoam there, I got to pull out. And there's a couple buckets. I already did a couple buckets already. But tried a couple things besides plain buckets and containers this year. I tried a couple different other containers just to see what they're like, see how things are growing. We're going to find out when we do them. But I'm going to do the potatoes probably tomorrow night when I got a little bit more time and not as many mosquitoes chewing us up everywhere. I just wanted to head up here real quick and show you how we're making up here. I put one of those evergreens that's yellow and green. It's a bush. After I trimmed all these bushes this week, and most of the landscaping. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 I forgot, but I did most of them everywhere. That maple's really going crazy, and you can see that Crape myrtle right there from nothing to, it's just going crazy ever since I cut these pine trees out. And there's the apple tree right there. I put that in. That was growing up by the garage all that time, and got plenty of water to it or whatever, but it was just the root system was getting too big, even though it was a bigger bucket. So I planted in the ground, and that'll match. Now, if you can see around this camera on the front line there, back there might be an apple growing. Let me see. This will kind of be flippy if it is, but yeah, you can see I trimmed all these shrubs back here everywhere, all around the whole yard and the main trees to get everything back a little bit. It's a second series of trimming them this year. I thought, let me just say, that might have been the sun I was looking at up there. There's one. Let me hold you up there. See if we can see her. There's one apple right there. Yeah, there's quite a few more. Look, there's one in there. What I did a couple years ago was this apple tree's been out here for quite a while. You can see one up in there. But this apple tree used to just kick ass, and then I put this pin oak here for shade, and it's just a beautiful tree from my front yard. And it was like 4 foot tall, and I put it in. Now it's 40 foot, 50 foot tall, and just huge. And I love it, but it takes away some of the sun from certain stuff. But this apple tree used to flourish, and it's bad. There's one. You can see one right there. So by looking at it, there's another one there. You got to really look for a while. I'd say there's 15, 20 apples on there, and they look like granny apples right now, but they're not granny apples. They're regular red apples. So this tree last 4 or 5 years produced great, and I made some apple pies with them, some apple critters. And just like anything else, you don't get every apple off there to grow the way you want it to and finish up. So I'd say I got 3/4 of them off and was able to use them, cut them up, put them in the apple stuffing. And it was really good. I'm sure the sugar and everything helped too, but they were really good. So last year when I went come out to this tree after having so many productive years, it didn't produce one apple. It did nothing. Same as my peach tree out back. It didn't produce nothing, and then it produced, and then for like a year or two, it just was doing nothing. So I put this other apple in, and through experience, you find out that you got to have like this new apple here, and the apple I was just showing you have to have something to that they fertilize off of each other and make it work. And that's why way out back I put the 2 peaches within 50 yards of each other. One peach, both of them were producing, but the one new peach was really producing, which it normally doesn't. In the first year or two, I'd say that peaches got up to about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and we're really, it's like, man, it's going to work out nice. And then the birds and the critters come in, and Japanese beetles, and I went away for a month, and they took over everything. So both trees got room, but they are starting to leaf again now, but they took all the fruit from them. That's another crepe myrtle. That was probably 5 or 6 inches high when I first put it in, and it's grown. But so right now I have that red one, the pink one on the side. All these were real small things, and first couple of years put a crepe myrtle in, it doesn't look like it's going to do too much. And then once you get them, if you see the color of them, it's really nice. And that's my purple crepe myrtle there, and that one's doing good, but it's not looking as we're purpley right now because I had to trim it back and get some air through, because if you don't get air through crepe myrtles, that'll kill them. Hard lesson learned there too. And I got a crepe myrtle bush out front, another one that's a reddish, so I got a pink, 2 reddish, a purple, and I got this one here that my wife got. This crepe myrtle's probably 30 years old, if not older. And she picked it up one time, brought it home, and I buried it in the ground, and it grows, it gets bigger all the time, and I trim it back. But the problem with it is, not problem, but the crepe myrtle here is that this is a white one, what I'm trying to tell you. This is a white flower one. So when it blossoms, or if all 5 are blossoming at the same time, it really, really looks good. And the rose bush, it was dying from the weather. I got that fertilized and weathered back up. So it'll be a little while and we'll get things kicked up. But from the garden, which is our main thing, and landscape and all that good stuff, you can see it over there just still doing its thing, and we're just going to keep pushing along. And another successful season. And like I said, a successful season is when you produce and you do what you want to do. And so far it has been very successful for me. It doesn't mean there's not going to be some bad times with it. You know, there's certain things I grew this year that my eggplant's down this year. Even though I grew it, it's just not what it was the year before. But it all depends on the weather and moisture and all that kind of stuff. So, and the climate. And it depends on your soil sometimes. And even though I redo my soil, mix it, I'll say regurgitate it, but mix it with all the fertilizer and do everything I need to do, it still doesn't promise success. But if your success is up around 85 to 90% on everything you produce and you're getting something out of it, you're doing your job. And that's where I've been for the last 13, 14 years. All right, guys, have a great week coming up, and I'll come back in a week or so, and we're going to be going over peppers and some of the remaining stuff we got out here in the yard. Take care. All right, guys, have a good one.